Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Unai Emery now wants to bring a £25 million Arsenal player to Aston Villa. Aston Villa manager Unai Emery is keen to raid his former club Arsenal to sign Scottish defender Kieran Tierney. According to a report from the Telegraph, Villa are looking at bringing Tierney in after seeing him fall down the pecking order at Arsenal. Tierney has lost his regular place for Alexander Zinchenko, and there is a growing belief in North London that the Scot will be sold on this summer. Indeed, he is said to be among a cluster of players expected to depart the Emirates. Previous report had linked Newcastle with being keen on signing Tierney, but it seems that Villa, who are flying under Emery, could come into the mix. Tierney has found himself unlucky at Arsenal in recent times, despite being a regular under Arteta previously. The signing of Zinchenko signaled a change in the way the Gunners played that, coupled with a few injuries and knocks, has seen Tierney slip down the order a tad. Along with the likes of Reece Nelson and others, Tierney could be sold by Arsenal to raise funds. The Gunners paid £25 million to sign the magnificent Scottish left back from Celtic back in 2019. Aston Villa are expected to spend big this summer and go for a top four spot. Their progress under Emery has been massive, with Europe very much a possibility this season. Kieran Tierney hasn't done anything wrong at Arsenal really. He is simply the victim of a club moving in a different direction with different players. The Scot remains a quality left back, and at a club like Villa, he could thrive. Villa are looking very much like they are on their way back to the upper echelons of English football, and signings like Tierney will only enhance that possibility. Emery has worked wonders so far. If he can sign Tierney and add a few more, then Villa will be a force. Journalists suggest Arsenal's fantastic player could even miss the start of next season. Takehiro Tomiyasu may even miss the start of next season, according to Football.London's journalist Tom Canton. Speaking on a Q&A session on his YouTube channel, the journalist was asked about Tomiyasu's status, and sadly, he wasn't able to relay any good news. Indeed, the journalist says that Tomiyasu remains very injured, claiming that not only is he out for the remainder of the season, he could also miss the start of the next campaign. Canton shared what he knows about the fantastic defender. He said, Tomiyasu is well injured. I am afraid he is out for the season. You are not going to see Tomiyasu back until the start of next season, maybe even after the start of next season. Arteta hinted that he might be out for around 6 months from the point of that injury, which could cost him the start of next season as well. Tomiyasu's injury is a big blow to Arsenal's plans both this season and next season. The defender may not be one of Arsenal's first choice players, but the Japan international is vital to the Gunners' rotation due to his versatility. Not only can he play as a right back, Tomiyasu can also play as a commanding centre half, while there has also been talk of him being retrained as a left back. Tomiyasu may not be Arsenal's best player, but he is a rare breed of footballer who can fill in any defensive position, and that is vital for Arsenal, especially as injury issues continue to take hold. Fingers crossed Tomiyasu will be back fit sooner rather than later. Arsenal close to completing double contract signing. Arsenal are edging closer and closer to being able to tie down both Aaron Ramsdale and Bukayo Saka to new contract in North London. The England duo are seen as vital cogs for the Gunners going forward. Saka has had an extraordinary season, while Ramsdale has once again proven himself in the sticks, and according to the Telegraph, the Gunners believe they are close to agreeing a new contract for both. Saka has been courted by Manchester City, and getting his new deal sorted is seen as a priority for the Gunners. But Ramsdale too is also seen as key. Since signing from Sheffield United, the stopper has dislodged and moved Bernd Leno on, cementing himself as one of the league's best goalkeepers. Mikel Arteta is desperate to get his best players on a new contract before attacking the market in the summer. Arsenal are having a real look at signing a 23-year-old from obscure league. Arsenal are having a real look at signing Dinamo Zagreb's Joseph Sotalo. Indeed, according to the Evening Standard, the Gunners have sent scouts to have a look at the 23-year-old ahead of a potential summer move for £18 million. The centre back may not be a player you are all that familiar with. After all, he does play in the Croatian league and he is only been capped 6 times for his country, but he has been tipped for big things, and now a huge move could be coming his way. A right-footed centre-back, Sotalo could be the perfect William Saliba backup for the Gunners, and who knows, he could even replace Saliba in the first team if he lives up to his potential. Described as a player who will be world-class by one of his former coaches, Sotalo has been making waves over in Croatia over the past few years. Of course, you'd have every right to turn your nose up at a defender who is plying his trade in what is, with all due respect, a less than fashionable league, but it's also worth remembering that Josko Gvardiol came from the exact same club Dinamo Zagreb know how to develop a center half. The fact that Sutalo has been tipped to be world class by the same coaches who oversaw Gvardiol's development tells you a lot about his ability, and if Arsenal can get this deal over the line, they could be securing quite the coup. Of course, for every Gvardiol, there is a Marco Piaka or a Filip Penkovic, but the point still stands that Croatia is an untapped market with plenty of potential. Sotalo is certainly a name to keep in mind as we approach the transfer season. Arsenal are now looking at signing a number 9 who is even faster than Vlahovic, says a journalist. Jonathan David is on Arsenal's transfer radar this summer. Speaking on the Talking Transfer podcast, Graham Bailey was discussing Arsenal's plans in the upcoming window, and he said that they are actually looking for a new striker. Arsenal have a bit of conundrum when it comes to their strikers already, with Edin Ketia in decent form this season and Folarin Balogun smashing it out of the park over in France. However, the Gunners still do want a new centre forward, and while Bailey can see Arsenal spending massive money on someone like Dusan Vlahovic, he did note that David is one player who is on the radar. Bailey shared what he knows about the Canadian and the Gunners. He said, "A forward is something they are looking at as well. I don't think they will go as high as Vlahovic, but they do still like him. But a number 9 is something they are looking at. Someone like Jonathan David, maybe we have heard on the radar as well. There is a lot of money to be spent depending on which midfielder they get. David may not be as expensive as someone like Vlahovic, but you best believe that he can be just as effective. He's been banging in the goals in France, second in the scoring charts behind only Kylian Mbappe, and while his finishing is eye-catching, his truly striking attribute is his pace. Indeed, David is one of the fastest players around. In fact, according to the Speeds database, he is even faster than the aforementioned Vlahovic, and if you have ever seen the Serbian play, you will know how impressive that is. This signing would add a new dimension to Arsenal's attack, and it's certainly one to keep an eye on this summer. Premier League club won't stand in their £70 million player's way if Arsenal bid for him again. Arsenal have renewed hope of signing Brighton's Moses Caicedo this summer, with reports suggesting a deal could be done. Caicedo was one of Arsenal's main targets in January. He tried to push through a move, but Brighton held firm, rejecting offers and telling Caicedo he'd be going nowhere. However, it seems a move in the summer could be on, and according to Sky Sport, Arsenal would get a free run at Caicedo if they were to make a similar sort of bid. Back in January, Brighton were believed to be reluctant to sell at all. There was even talk of Arsenal going to £90 million plus for Caicedo. In the end, the Seagulls held their nerve and Arsenal were left to sign Jorginho instead. But Caicedo is very much on Arsenal's radar again, and according to Sky, Brighton would not stand in his way if the Gunners made another approach. Of course, Brighton would still want big money, and with Alexis McAllister also likely to be sold, the Seagulls will do all they can to maximize their income. Arsenal are believed to be prioritizing a new midfielder this summer. Declan Rice is seen as the main attraction, but Caicedo remains very much on the radar. If Brighton are suggesting that Arsenal can sign their star man, then it might open the door for others to bid. A host of other clubs are likely to be keen on Caicedo. He is that good, and even at around the £70 million mentioned in Sky's report, he could be a bargain buy. Brighton are the envy of many teams in the top flight right now. They keep pulling rabbits out of hats. For teams like Arsenal, it's a case of either paying up or finding a way to get to these players before anyone else. Arsenal scouts now running report on a 22-year-old Premier League star. Arsenal are doing their due diligence on Mark Guehi ahead of a potential summer move for the defender. If the last few weeks have highlighted anything at Arsenal, it's that they need more depth at centre half. William Saliba's injury has showcased Rob Holding's shortcomings, and this is something that Arsenal will need to address in the summer. According to Give Me Sport, Arsenal have been doing plenty of work on Mark Guehi as of late, and the analytical whizzes at the Emirates have gathered a lot of information about the Crystal Palace defender. They have crunched the numbers, and interestingly, they have also done checks on Guehi's personality to see how he'd fit into this squad. Make no mistake about it, you only make checks on a player in this way if you are ready to strike, and it looks as though Arsenal are working towards that end. Of course, there is a long way to go between this stage and a deal being done. As a 22-year-old England international, Guehi is going to cost a huge fee, and while Arsenal supposedly have a £150 million war chest heading into the summer transfer window, it's unclear whether or not they are prepared to put a chunk of that towards signing a new defender who isn't even guaranteed to be a starter. On top of that, we are yet to hear how Arsenal feel about Guehi's stats and personality report. It may be that the scouts were left unimpressed. However, after watching him play and seeing him in numerous interviews, that is hard to believe. Regardless of whether Guehi signs or not, Arsenal will be needing a new centre back this summer, and the Crystal Palace star is certainly a player to keep in mind when thinking about who the Gunners could bring in at the end of the season. Arsenal face paying £100 million if they want to sign Declan Rice. Arsenal will have to stamp up a club record fee of £100 million if they want to take Declan Rice from West Ham United this summer. Rice is set to leave the Hammers and is expected to have a number of big clubs in for him. Arsenal, as we know, are one of those clubs. However, rather than negotiating down a bargain price, ESPN report that West Ham have slapped a £100 million price tag on Rice in the hope of warding off suitors or at least getting top dollar for their man. ESPN claims that West Ham would prefer to keep Rice, but internally, there is a growing belief they need to cash in now, given Rice is about to enter the final 2 years of his contract. ESPN report that a whole host of top Premier League clubs are watching Rice, as well as Arsenal, Manchester City, United, Chelsea, and Liverpool are all monitoring his situation. Rice has excelled for the Hammers in recent seasons. Despite their poor league form this term, Rice has been integral in seeing them into Europe and staying involved. Known to be one of Bukayo Saka's best friends in football, Arsenal will be hoping those small connections can help, but at £100 million, Arsenal might find the price tag just too much. There was no way Arsenal were ever going to get Declan Rice for anything but £100 million plus. West Ham have been pretty adamant over the years, and they will only sell for top dollar. Realistically though, Arsenal need to pay up and sign Rice in recent weeks It's been apparent that they lack the depth and the quality needed in certain positions. Mikel Arteta is said to be back this summer. He will be hoping then that Declan Rice is one of the first names his club secures. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.